welcome back. It's Sunday Fun Day and we're on air. Got the car moved into the center of the garage. Got Elvis moved into the paint room just because we were working on this right now, and I'm not happy about throwing sparks all over the car all the time. Basically, that's what's going on. So we got it in the middle of the shop. Did a little bit of work cleaning up and stuff. We showed, I think it was yesterday, we showed the front end of this where it was welded up, how we fixed it. Now we're going to come to the other side, my sweetheart. Jolene's looking amazing today, and Fina's a great dog. Fina's a great dog. She's a beautiful dog. We're such lucky people to have such a good dog. We've got this one welded up. Aiden welded it up, and I ground it down. So we've cut the rust out of there. We've got it down to bare metal. It's looking good. Very happy with it. So what that means is, we've got the front. This is the A-pillar. We've got the front of the A-pillar tied to the inside sill. And that's what happens when you're all the cars, my tongue's a bit thick this morning. All the pillars are tied to the sill of the car. So the A-pillar on the front is tied to the inside sill and the floor. When we open the door, that's when we get the back side of the A-pillar, and then that will be connected to the inner panel, or the inner sill and the floor pan. That's when that'll be connected in there when we open the door. So right now we've got the front connected. The bottom's not been capped yet, but that'll be capped to the inside sill, and then we open the door, we'll do that part. The exact same thing on the other side. Jolene will come to this side, and she can look down at the A-pillar here, and I'll explain it. That panel that we put in there, from the A-pillar to the firewall, is another connection that we've made so it does not move back or forth. With it just being connected on the bottom, you know, it could be not strong enough. So where it's just connected on the bottom on the inside sill, we've went up on the A-pillar and connected all the way to the firewall. So what's going on is that panel there is connected to the A-pillar, which holds the door, and then it comes up and welds to the firewall. And the firewall here, the front mount, is welded right on top of the floor. So basically, for that to move, you'd have to rip all that weld off the A-pillar. You'd have to rip the weld off the firewall, rip all the weld off down here at the A-pillar here, and all this off here to make this one pillar move. There'd have to be quite a bit of damage to make that move. Where it's welded to the floor, where I've welded the A-pillar to the inside sill. There's a piece going from the A-pillar to the inside sill. It's welded this way, so it can't pull out. So if you firewalls connected together, it'd be pretty hard to open up. If you want to come back here again, sweetheart. Where that piece is welded to the floor, where all the spot welds are welded to the floor, the A-pillar can't go down because it'd have to shove that piece of metal up through the A-pillar. You'd have to shove that up. And where that's sitting down on the floor, that'd be quite hard to do because you'd have to rip all that weld off. Where it's spot weld on the floor, now the A-pillar can't come out like this either. So we're secured this way and this way because it's tied in. We've got a piece of metal welded in this way, and we got it connected to the floor so it can't come out this way. So I'm considering the A-pillars completed until we open the doors, and then we fill in the back side. So now we're just going to move our way back. We're just going to move our way back to the quarter panels. I'm going to go on this side first, and the reason I'm going to go on this side first, I like this shape here better. This one's sort of, it's not really that true, but it's giving me a truer read on this shape here than on the other side. If we go on the other side, you can see how it's kicked out. It comes down and it kicks out. So it's not a good looking piece. I think this piece should come in here and around better instead of sticking out like this. So I think it should come down here and then go into the inside sill. So basically we're going to do the exact same thing on this as we did on the front A-pillar. We're going to cut this off, make a piece come down. It's going to go over and connect onto the inside sill. See there's a piece of angle iron in there. Not angle iron. What's an angle iron? With a gusset on it. That's just on that post to keep it from going down. So now we want to be able to keep it from going down or coming out. We're going to strengthen it all up. We're going to make a piece that goes on the post that goes into the inside sill, and we're going to make the quarter panel that goes to the inside sill. And that's what we're going to do today. Yay! Sunday fun day. Jolene looks amazing today. Amazing. I'm not sure exactly how it goes or how it's supposed to be done. I've got a piece of square stock in here. I welded it to the exhaust pipe that I put in here. This car started out as a 42 two-door, not a coupe, so we've actually made it, but there's a piece of exhaust pipe up there. I welded some square stock from there down to the bottom of the quarter panel. So when it gets on the hoist, when we want to pick the body up and off, there's something there that you can put pressure on. I don't want to put the hoist underneath here and just have metal. I really want some support, just like an ag. I was telling Harley the other day, when you can take an ag lengthways, try to put it in your hand and try to crush it, you can't crush it. If you put it sideways, you can crush it like a piece of piss. But if you do that, if you have a post in here like that, you're not going to crush it. Just like the studs of your house. That's why that works. You know, you're not shoving a piece of wood down through the ground. That's exactly what's going on there. I'm not going to do any measuring on this piece, generally like always. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Bristol board, make my shape, what I like, what I'm going for. I'm not going to disconnect the doors yet because I don't want to do that yet until the end. I want to get everything tied together and have it situated before I let them doors free. And the reason being is it'll still be there. Once it's all welded together, the doors will still fit. As soon as if I let that off, it could take off on me somewhere, and I do not want it to take off on me anywheres. The door gap is tight. Yes, it is. I'm going to have to deal with that after, but the lines are right, and that's what I'm worried about. The lines are right there on both sides. Don't worry. I'm not worried about that gap right now. I can deal with that later. Let's grab a piece of Bristol board. Let's do it. So what I can see is if we go to the other side, or if Jolene wants to go to the other side, on this patch making, I think I explained it yesterday the best I could. I generally, when you grab a piece of paper or a Bristol board or something like that, there's usually a straight edge on it. And I generally run with the straight edge. As soon as I have a straight edge, I feel like I look for the straight edge on the panel that I'm making. And I'm thinking that the straight edge on the panel is down this post. So I would automatically line my straight edge up and then go for the rest, if that makes sense. If we go on the other side here, we can see, or I think, yeah, you can see. It looks a bit, you know what I mean? It's got the tinge colored rust on, I'm not sure. But basically, you can see where the panel was cut off. It's right down by the floor. You can see that. Go down a little bit. Right there. You can see where the panel's cut off, where my finger is. You can see where it's cut off there. The rest of the metal is good. And the reason I say it's good, because I said so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that off. I can see where the body filler is. And I know the panel's been cut off right here somewhere. So I'm just going to go up underneath this tack weld and go across here. And there's no reason, what can I say? We'll just go for that and do that for now, and we'll see what happens. Well, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to make a panel. I'm going to cut it off. I want some tape just to hold the cardboard for me. And at the end of today, we're going to draw for a hat or a shirt. We haven't done that for a while. We've kind of been slacking. And the hat or the shirt, something like that, you can win. And basically, we're going to keep it. We're going to see, you know, to do it every day and just give a hat or a shirt away. We're going to give it a little bit of, what can I say, every once in a while we'll do it. And that way there, the comments, you'll have to throw a comment, and you never know when it's going to happen. So maybe that'll make people want to comment because you just never know. It's like I've been telling the kids, you know, every time I met a young person at the Toronto car show, I would always ask them if they had a dream. And the reason I wonder if they had a dream is because if you don't have one, it cannot come true. That makes sense, doesn't it? If you do not have one, it cannot come true if you don't have one. Also, they're free. So to dream as a young person, you know, to have a dream it's necessary for a young person to be able to dream. It doesn't matter about what kind of car they want, what kind of job they want, or what kind of whatever. Every young person should be made or told, have a dream, think about something, use your brain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay underneath of the weld there, and I'm just going to pluck this on because I'm going to keep this piece of cardboard straight with the door. That way there I've got something straight. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that there. It's tight up there. I can draw where I'm going to cut it off right now because that's where my piece is going. Killing two birds with one stone. And it's never too old to dream. You're never too old to dream, basically. I have dreams. Jolene was a dream, and it came true. And I love you. And I'm going to trace this backside. Pretty basic thing. Just tracing. Pretty basic thing. Now I'm going to lay down. I'm going to trace the other side. I'm going to make this. Oh, I hope I don't mess up the mic, but you never know. She'll check me, boy. She'll want to touch me after. Now I don't know. This is what I don't know. I don't know what the bottom of the quarter panel is supposed to look like. Oh, I heard something crack. She's probably mad now. She got mad at me. You want to check that, sweetheart? Hope I didn't knock it off on you. It's okay? Hope so, she said. So, basically what's going on here is I've traced that off. Or I thought it did. Yeah. So I've traced the front panel off. What I've got going on here, I've got this line, the top line. The only ones I had to trace off is the bottom and going up through here. So we're just going to take a look. I'll finish the rest with a straight edge. Basic stuff. I'm going to cut that, but I can see with my own eye that that's bigger there than it is there. Now I'm just kind of all right, let's cut it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, put it on there, see if it looks the same. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a piece that goes in to the inside sill, and I'll add it to this, and then I'll know. There's no measuring involved, just kind of using the cardboard or the Bristol board for my pattern. And I don't mind doing that because it generally tells you the truth. It's almost like 3D printing. Cover. I see Jimbo got his steering wheel done. Looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. Got a little paint on it. Got it all smoothed up. Fantastic. Going for his brakes now. Yeah, so I do not know what the 42-door quarter panel looks like, or what's supposed to look like on there. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm just going down, straight in, and we'll go from there. So that fits there. Bang on. We're up just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm going to draw another line on that. And the reason being is because I can. Top line's the one. That's where it fits. I can feel it. I can feel it. Top line's the one. So that's my piece that's on there. Now I'm going to do a piece that goes underneath to the inside sill. Try to lay on this bum cheek. That make you smile, sweetheart? Cheek to cheek. Now on this A pillar. What? B pillar, sorry. On the, what? Did you say, B. On this B pillar, Yeah, on this B-pillar. This would only be on the back side. That's understandable. This would be on the back side of the B-pillar. On the inside of the B-pillar would be over here. So after we make this quarter panel piece and make this go over to this sill here and fill this piece in, when we cut this off, we'll see it. We're going to have to open the door and do the other side of it. So we're only going to get this side, and then when we open the door up, we'll get the other side, and then we'll cap it just like the front. I could measure that piece, I suppose. I don't really. I find papers. Hard up against that inside sill. Make it the right length. Anyways, we'll cut that off. That's basically what we got going on. Just so. Put that on there. I just want to take a look at it here for a second. We probably could go in there, like, so where that's coming down and coming out just a little bit. We probably could go in there just a little bit, and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to, I know that's the top. It makes a difference. You got to know the top from the bottom. I'm going to tape this together. Put a little piece on it first and then tape it that way. And as I do this, if I make a mistake or if I find an easier way, as I'm paying attention what I'm doing, as I get going along here, if I, you know what I'm saying, if this is the first one I'm doing, so this is what I'm going to tell you. If I make a mistake in any way of what I'm doing here, I'm going to apply it to the other side. And that's what I mean by learning by your mistakes. So whatever I do on this side that I wished I would have done on, to make it a little easier for myself, I'll apply it to the other side. I hope that makes sense. All right, so what I'm saying is, once I fold that, put that on, my 3D printer, there's my piece that I need to make. Now, as I have that up on there, like on the inside sill, I'm not going to finish it off like that because we don't want to just try to weld that seam underneath. So now's the time I'm going to make that 1/2 inch bend going down. And when I go over to my sheet metal, I'm going to add that 1/2 inch to there so I can bend it on my brake to get what I need to get done what I need to get done. So as you can see, I have my piece. I also have the mark or the point where I need to bend it, so I'll know where to bend it. Right there and right there is where I'm going to need to bend it. I'm going to use that little piece right there, and the reason being is it's right there. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to take my 1/2 inch first. There's my 1/2 inch piece. I'm going to guess because that looks good to me. I probably should continue down straight. So I'll just finish that off with a ruler. And I want that. I'll finish it off with a ruler. Sunday, fun day. Now, I'm thinking, not sure how far up the other side goes. Probably looks like it goes up a little bit farther. We'll see. I'll bend this piece up and just take it like a measurement. I think it goes up further than that. I could have made 2 right off of that one, but I'm just going to go with this one. But what I will do is, the piece that I make for the other side it's rotted up. It's had a patch panel put on it that's farther up than that piece. This is the piece that goes underneath. That's the piece I really wanted to do first because I want them having both the same. That one there is kicked out on that side. This one here looks fairly decent. So I'm going to go with this one. So when I make the outside panel for that one over there, I'm going to apply that piece right there so they both have the same distance. The quarter panels are both the same distance. I think you can get that. I could have. That's what I was doing. That's what I was thinking in my brain when I did that, is that I want them both out the same distance. This down a little bit further. That's fine. Basically just trying to make both sides the same. And I have to remember, this is the top. So when I put that back on there, then I can draw my line where it has to be bent. It does matter. I'm going to get my shears right here. Let's cut this bad boy off. I want my glasses. I want my glasses. Alrighty. And basically just going around all the corners and just keep tying it in. We got to make a firewall for it and all that sort of stuff. It's just fun stuff. It is fun stuff. I made the executive decision just to cut it off. That's what I did. I made the executive decision. Hard to get off. Picked the wrong end up, that's all. And we'll cut this. Leaving that 1/2 inch there, guess that. Looks pretty good to me, it's fine. So if you're making a patch for anything and you're using Bristol board, if there's a straight edge, grab your straight edge and go with that one first. Good thing I marked the top on that, or I'd be trying to guess. No, I wouldn't. I know where the 1/2 inch bend is. So we got our piece on here. You see how the black line, the black marker's still there? See? Didn't cut it on the line. Made this piece bigger. And it does that every time you leave the black line, because the pattern is underneath the black line. See how I left the black line there? Pattern is bigger than what's going on. That's okay. What I want to do now, though, is I want to mark the bend. That's the bend right there. because I've got it right on that cardboard right there. That's the bend. So I know I have to bend that there. If that's the top. Goes like that. So I just have to make sure I bend it right, that's all. Because you can bend it wrong, and then we'll both be in hot water. That's not true, it'd be just me. But you know what I would do? I'd just do it again. Okay, got a mark there on that one. We got a mark there on that one. So we're going to bend it this way, so we put it on this way. First, what I want to do is, this panel is not generally straight down. There's always shape in something. This shape here, like I'm just going to roll it on the roller, and I'm just going to put a little bit of shape in it. That's all I'm going to do. Just put a little. I'm not even probably going to roll it. I'm probably going to stick it in there and just make a little bit of shape on it. Where it comes to this shape here, that will automatically come for when I'm welding it to this, and also it's not going on straight. Like if it was, what can I say? If it was just nailed on straight, going straight back, that's fine, but we're going to be pulling it in to make the inside piece fit. So I'm not scared about that, but we're going to make, I can make that shape maybe after. Nope, I'm going to do it right now. This is the front, so I want to turn it around a little bit. I want to turn it around. And I'm just going to apply, I'm going to go in on the windshield sheen here. Let's go in there and just give it a little bit of shape. That's basically all I'm going to do is give it a little bit of shape. And I know I don't want to go past them 2 lines. So I'll start down there actually. I don't want to go past the 2 lines. Just going to give a little bit of, not a whole bunch. Just try to pull it up even. Pretty basic thing. We'll do it again, just a little bit more. Just put the lines down in even on the, I'm just eyeing it up, right? Just eyeing it up so it's even. Got my line there, just trying to line it up even, and then go from there and pull it up even. Not bad. Do a little bit more. Put a little shape in it, that's all. Just a little bit of shape. We're going to bend the piece underneath now to go to the inside sill. Now, I wonder if I should bend the piece up first. Maybe. We'll do that first. Bend this. Now, like I said yesterday, I don't know if I said it yesterday or not, but when I was talking to Aiden when we were doing that side, if I bend that 1/2 inch, a true 90, right straight up and down like that, when I push it against, if my inside sill is in a little bit like that, the 90 is going to come straight down. I'm going to have to beat that 90 to it. So what I like to do is, instead of bending it perfectly 90, I like bending it so it's back just a little bit, not a 90. So if it comes down, if it doesn't hit, well, it's aimed back a little bit and it will win and hit. If it's a perfect 90 and that's back too far, then it's hard to get together. But I can always, if it's out like this, not a complete 90, and if I shove it in and it's hitting, I can always shove it in to straighten it out to make it fit nice and tight and right. But if that back piece is in a little bit like this, and I have a complete 90, it's harder to get that 1/2 inch bent in there to fit tight. So I like to not bend a complete 90. I hope that makes sense. going right. This is what I'm saying. So that's not completely a 90. If you look down that, that's not completely a 90. It's not a perfect 90. If I had a, now, when I shove that in there, how do I think you understand. If I bent that a perfect 90 and my piece was in like this, it would not hit. If my piece is straight down perfect, that'll automatically come in and hit. But if it was a complete 90 and I had my piece, a back piece was like this, it wouldn't commit. There'd be a gap at the bottom like that, and I want that to fit tight along there, so I always try not to bend it a complete 90. Now, the shape that's going on underneath, I think that is going straight in. And if this is not original, neither is the car. We are building it our way, so we're just going to go in and do our thing. When it comes to the running board, we will have to modify or do what we have to do to make it work. So there's no big deal there, I don't think. No harm, no foul. We're just making the A-pillar and the quarter panel tie to the car. And I want to put these in before we do the wheel well, because then I'll have something to go by with the wheel well. We're going to go like that. So there's our piece. Got our shape going this way, got our flat piece going in, got our 90 coming down. And it's not going to fit right now because this piece right here goes down. It's got to bend in and comes down and goes over, and then it looks like it comes back up again. I don't know if that's right or if that's wrong or what that is. The only reason I didn't do it that way because it's easier to do it this way, and I don't know what they got going on there because this has always been replaced and repaired, and that's basically it. And you can see how my 90 comes right nice and tight down the bottom. You know, if I bend a complete 90 there, I'm not sure if it's going to work out exactly right or not. So this is what I'm going to do. That fits in there quite nice. Nice. Not sure if that's got to push in there more. Alrighty, let's cut this off. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut the bottom line first because we don't know exactly what's going on. It's you know, we can cut a little bit more off after if we want to, but I want to cut the bottom line, leave the top line for now, and see what happens. I'm going to leave the square stock in there because the square stock would hit on the bottom of this piece, and it kind of gives me a gauge to let me know whether I've got it up too high or not. So I would not want to get it on there and get this end up too high and get it cocked up. Where that square stock is tacked on there, it's right on that 90 there, so I'm just going to leave it so I can push it up tight, and then it should fit right. That rhymed, didn't it? Tight and right. Let's do it. Let's cut it off. Alright, I'm not going to cut that off yet. We will, but not yet. That's what the piece looked like. Lots of good metal there. You can see how thick it is and how good it is. It's all good. Had a little bit going on. That's okay. I'm going to snip this off because I welded that square stock on the bottom of that panel, so when we put the hoist underneath it, it didn't take off. I'm going to want to straighten sure if that was all the way down or not. It doesn't look like it was all the way down, but we'll know with this line right here whether we're going straight or not. So basically this is our panel. Okay. Looks nice. Not as nice as you, Jolene, but nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip this back a little bit further. This is our B pillar. I'm going to clean this up a little bit right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the B pillar a little bit better than it is right now. See, we just got a piece of angler on there with a gusset in there. Right now, I'm going to put a piece in that comes down with this piece here. I'm going to bring a piece down and go in to the inside sill, weld that on, because that's another piece that holds that B pillar. We'll do that first, and then we'll put this panel over top of it. And that way there, we have that piece done, and then we have the quarter panel done. And what I'm going to do right now, very quickly, is I'm going to make a piece for that. I don't know how quick I'm going to do it, but it's going to happen. Got a marker. Now, so I'm at the B pillar. I don't want to go any lower than the quarter panel because it won't allow the quarter panel to go on. What's that, sweetheart? Thank you, sweetheart. That's my piece that I need for the other side, and I was going to make a panel out of it, and Jolene just stopped me. That would have been a boo-boo. I could have took a pattern off that, but I'm going to leave that for the other side. I'll use this piece. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate it. So this is the piece I'm going to add on for the bottom to know the other side's exactly the same, so that's the piece there. Righto? Right on. I just want to check it out and see if it is. Yes, it is. That's the piece. So I'm going to do that on the other side. So we'll leave that. She caught me before I made a boo-boo. We know the front panel is going to go on here, so what I'm going to do, you can see the bottom of it right there, so I'm just going to go in here and do this. At the right angle. Looks like a good angle. Trace it on you, right here. I'm going here. Just did some tracing, like always. Come on, scissors. Scissors are fighting me. That's the piece I want for there. Yeah. So basically what I'm doing here, not fitting exactly yet. So I got that piece put in there. It's going to bring that down a little bit, fit a little bit better. I want to weld that up a bit more. Cut that in a little bit more. Just so that B pillar's on there tight and right, that's all we're trying to do. That fits there good now, so I'm going to weld that along here, and then weld that down along there. And I'll weld this piece up along there. And I don't have to go all the way up, but I do want to connect it. But I do want to connect it. I think it would be a mistake not to connect it, even though I think that would stop it from coming down or going out. Also, on the front, we'll be putting a panel from the B pillar back to the wheel well. Once the wheel well comes in here like this, there'll be a panel made just like up front from the B pillar to the wheel well to hold it from going down or being pulled out. Then we have the quarter panel that comes down that goes in, plus we have the B pillar connected down inside the quarter panel, just like the real cars. So we got this in there like that. Okay, that's what I'm saying right there. Put that back on there. This piece you won't even see. This piece will be buried, but it's a piece that most of your cars will have or should have. And if it doesn't have it, you can get at it, try to replace it. You want a light in there, sweetheart? You want me to hang a light in there? Just so everybody can see, Jolene's trying to help her camera work. Does that help out at all? Huh? Okay, we're going to get a different light just for a second. Sunday fun day. Just going to go in here for a second. Take that off. Look at this three-headed monster. No worries. Do you want inside or? Oh, she knows where she wants it. So this piece is going to go in here like so. I'm going to cut a little bit more off it. I'm going to cut it short. I'm not going to go up that high. I don't need to go up that high, I don't think. That's high enough. I'm going to, what else am I going to do? I'm going to shear a little more off it. Take a little more off the outside here. Make sure that quarter panel can go on. So we're going like that. A little more off this. It's called strength and inside integrity. I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna go up higher. I can't keep it down below where the quarter panel is. If I keep it down below that, then I won't be able to shove that piece on. So I got to make sure I'm above that. If you know what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to tell you. What I need to tell you is I got to cut more off. Just get it to fit. That's all I have to do. I have to be above that. Cut some more off. Cut some more off this, too. So you'd have a little bit of an issue if you got it put in there and it was too long. Then you just cut the bottom of it off, I guess. So basically, go in there. That looks better. Get in there. That's where I'm going to go, right there like that. Cut a little bit off the front of this so it fits just a little bit better. Paper is so much easier than metal, so we're going to go in there like that. So that's going to go in there, weld down along here, down along here, down along there. Then we'll go on the other side, and when we get on the other side, when the door opens up, maybe we can get at some of that and fix that. Good. Alrighty, let's put that piece in. Let's get it cut actually first. Here's my piece here. I'm going to go to my straight edge. That's the first place you should go. You know, for me to put that in the middle like that and cut that, nope. You can find your straight edge and do it that way. It's quicker, less cuts. And Aiden was talking yesterday on the long side or the short side. Well, I'm going to explain that here in a second. The pattern that I want pattern I want is inside the black line. So inside that black line would be the short side. On the outside of the black line would be the long side. So that's what Aiden was asking. Do you want the long side or the short side? So when I made the pattern, out here on that side of the black line is the long side. On the inside of the black line is the short side. There's basically the pattern, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. We're going to put it right on the money. Hard to cut. Sharp stuff. Just going to flatten it out with the hammy. I have the flapper wheel if I want to change anything or make it better. There we go. Gonna get the welder going. Got a little bit of sense of urgency. I think I'm taking a long time, aren't I? A little sense of urgency going on here. Little sense of urgency. We'll get this panel tacked on so you can see how we're doing it. That's for sure. Or it'll just be an extra long one for Sunday Fun Day. Oh. I love my baby. I love my baby. Alrighty, let's get this put on. That's on there. We need a ground, obviously. Untangle the cords. Good ground is to me. Good ground to me. Hard to not sit on that thing with me sitting on my bum, but we'll see what goes on. That feels good. So we're just going to stick that in there, get that in place. I find when the weld pops up like that, if you just tack it again right on top of it, sometimes it'll go away. And if it doesn't, grind it off. Grind it off. Did I bring my hammer over? I did. Good boy, Chad. Inside sill's got a little gap there. Gotta tack that on. Welding in the corner like that. I like to stick my wire. This is what I like to do to make it go right. Every time I pull the trigger, I try to make sure that that wire is right in the center of the two pieces that I'm doing. If you get on one side or the other, then you can start burning each other off and it becomes a hassle. Keep that wire right in the center. Also, when I'm welding this, I hit the wire on top of the weld that I've already welded. That way there, I've got a good start. If I hit it where there's no weld or no meat, well then I have a chance of burning through. Oh. Gonna go along here and burn this on. Look here for a second. Wait till that cools off and then hit it on the heavy spot. Do it again. Now we've got a nice piece in there. We've got the angle iron in there, and plus we got this piece on there. So you're going to have to bend the angle iron plus the gusset plus this piece. Now when this piece wants to come out or move, now you'd have to pull that off, and you'd have to pull that off the floor to pull that out. It's just an extra little help, and we'll do another one on the other side when we get to that. We'll put, not going to connect that to the inside sill, we'll just leave it be as there. We might be able to get in there once we get the quarter panel on. If we need see fit to connect this to the quarter panel, which we can, what I would do, because I don't know, I know the basic shape there right now, I've got the basic shape, but what I would do is I'd go over to my brake and I'd bend a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch and I'd make it that long and I'd pluck it to this one and then I'd push it to fit the quarter panel perfect and then I'd pluck it on the quarter panel, if you know what I'm trying to say. So when I put the quarter panel on, this piece on, when I put that piece on, then I could go on the inside and make a patch and make it fit this one and make it fit that one just by making a 90. So the 90 will come this way and then this way, and then I can connect it to this if I want, but not right now because I cannot see it. It's too hard to do it that way. What I'm going to do now is there's two pieces of metal here. There's one piece of metal here, I see, but there's two pieces there. I'm just going to trim that back a little bit further because we're going to put a piece on. I'm going to try to cut the top one off there. Got some bronze going on there. Now we seem to be out just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think that's got to come down just a little bit. Gonna fit that on the bottom of the door like that. I'm gonna get a pair of clamps and clamp it on. See where it looks the best. I'd be crazy not to clamp it on. Crazy, I say. So So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tack it on the front first. Yeah, and I'll just, we'll show you as I do it. Just going to tack it on the front first. Knock this off. Let's get some bare metal going. I'm going to put the front on to match where I want it to go. I'm going to go up higher with the... Thank you, sweetheart. You're more than good looks, I can tell you that. He's more than good looks, boys. We both woke up at 7, and she looked like a 10. All right, I'm going to add this. I'm going to put this one on here because it fits good down the bottom. I'm going to go with that. We'll weld that down the front. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack that right. No, I'm going to tack it at the top or the bottom. I'm going to tack it at the top. Alrighty. Now I'm going to clamp it and get back and take a look at it. It'd be full. It's not bad. What I have to do? No, I don't like. That's okay there. I'm gonna have to do. I thought about clamping that. Get it on there right. How far am I from crawling around on my hands and knees? I'm going to let it down just a little bit. The reason I let it down a little bit if I push this in and up, I'm going to tack this one right here. I'm going to push it in and up just to see what it looks like. I want to not hurt the sound situation, but can't see. Made a mistake already. And my mistake is I did not take my little notches out of my bottom piece so I could weld it on. So I made a mistake already. But now we know exactly where it's got to go. And I got 2 spot welds on it, so I can just knock it off. I want to see if it's straight and right. I like it. I like it there. But that piece would have to come up some in the back. Do this. Gotta get a ruler. I'm not sure if it's supposed to run up or run straight along, but it's pretty fine detail when it comes to something like that. See how this is running up on this end? I would think that it would run up myself, because it runs up on this end, or it could come down. You know, it could be running down all the way, but as I have it on the bottom of the door, you can see where it's running up. The bottom of the door is running up, running up. Probably should come down some. I'm going to take it back off, and the reason being is I want to make the grooves in the bottom. I'll show you. Just take me a minute. Take me a minute. Knock them off. Ba, ba, ba. Just going to put that mark there because I like the front piece. I like where that one's tacked. So we know we're going with that one. It's the back one's going to be dropped is what I'm thinking. Just knock this off. No harm, no foul. I think I explained how I like to do this. I just like to feed it with the grinder. If you're commenting and watching on this, at the end of the video, this is just basic fun. This is what it is. At the end of the video, comment what you think you would change how I put it on for the other side. So if there's something that you think I should have done or something that would make it easier, comment and say, because as I'm going along, when I do the other side, I'm going to remember to put the V's in the bottom. That's for sure. And also, it's going good. Let's tack it back on again. We know where we're going because we got the line in the front. We're just going to drop it down to the back. Because I think what we're going to do, I'm just going to run it down so it goes along straight to the door and keeps coming back. I think I'm going to drop it down a little bit, I guess. I don't know because of the fact that one was fixed. I'm fixing it again. And I don't know, basically. All I can do is go by an educated guess. So I'm going to figure it out in my own brain, and we'll go from there. There's the line. So I'll be able to, right on that seam there, I'll cut that down there again so I can butt it. We'll weld it right in the back in the same spot. You can see the line. So now, let's get our... No, I'm going to push that in. I'm going to push that in and hit. Nope, can't do that because if I weld that down there, then I can't move this. cut that together, I guess. Right up there a little bit. We're down just a little bit right here. There we go. Well, nope, it's got to come down some. I'm going to make a mark. Just so I know, there's my mark. I'm going to do this. Shove it in there. Get on the bottom of the door. And I think, see how much I got to come down? When I look at my line and I bring that down, I'm going to bring it down that much. That way there I'll be able to hold it and put it back on. So I'm saying I got to bring it down that much. There we go. Bottom of the door, straight back. See the bottom or the corner of the door right here? That's what I'm looking for, right here, all the way back. Bob's your uncle and Peter's your regular. Good. Get back and take a look at it. I'm going to pluck the front piece on. I'm going to pluck that front where I plucked it on before, but I'm going to hit it on the V part. I'm going to weld that up in there, and then I'm going to get back up and check it again. And after that, we'll zip it and put it on. That's what we're going to do. A little bit to it, you know, a little bit to it. I'm going through it as I'm going through it. I'm learning what to do, you know. I got to go through it to learn. Basically, that's with anything. We're hitting tight. Alrighty. Window like that. I'm going to try that again. Hoping it's right. Bang. That's what we want. Right on the edge of that door. Straight back. Very happy with that. Now, I'm going to just go easy here for a second. It's a long day. Tacked on. Zip cut. I get my third arm. Third arm, just a piece of metal with a T that goes underneath your shoulder. And I left it somewhere. See it anywhere, sweetheart? There it is. Put a little pad on it the other day. I was hurting my arm. It's just a little piece like that. Just pointy part. Put it underneath your arm. Hold things in place. That's basically all I'm going to do. Tack it down here on the post. So what I did is I followed the line of the piece of metal that I stuck on, and it might have to be changed because that door's tight, but That was a rhyme, but it's butt welded on. So we're just going to go like this. Tack that on. I'm going to tack it on for now. See what's going on. We'll go from there. Just going to leave that. Now we're going to run our zip cut with that one, and then we get a true line. And remember, we want a little bit of a gap. That way there we know we got penetration. Now I suggest only tacking it together where it fits flush, because it doesn't always fit flush. Just tack it where it fits flush, that's it. And if it has to be pushed out or dealt with in a certain place, then you have to deal with it. To me, that all has to be pushed out. Good, good. Oh, wheat shreddies. And get that one after. Just tack it on back here for now. Ah! Sometimes the person gets pushed out quite a ways. To me, yeah, it's gonna be pushed out. And we can get it on the inside to knock it out a little bit further if we want to. We want to get it pushed out. We want to weld it pushed out. Just because it's butt welded doesn't mean that it's in place. You know what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, just because it's butt welded doesn't mean it's in place. It's not bad. That's good. It's good. See how the gap is in there? Watch this now. See where I got it there? No gap. When I go back here, when I go to butt weld it, look. See the gap? So that means it's got to be pushed out. Just because it's butt welded does not mean that it's where it's supposed to be. Still going to be knocked out just a little bit. But that'll be done with a hammy. We'll cut back a little bit further. Zip cut's behind me. So, this bottom piece. Just kind of wonder if I should. I'm just going to tack. No, I'm going to cut it and zip butt it. So. Now this piece here that comes, this wheel well that comes down, this is going to have to be made to be in place before we put this piece in. So it's nice and round, so it's not kinked in. So this will have to be an issue. Well, it's not an issue. It's just something you're going to have to look at. When that piece on the wheel well, from the wheel well up here, that comes out like this and welds on this piece here is going to have to be in shape before we weld that to that piece. And it's going to haul it in a little bit. I know that. But when I weld this piece, come take a look if you want. I'm pulling it off here maybe a little bit, I'm not sure. But when this piece here is welded to the wheel well going in, I'm going to have to make sure that it's out and it's nice and round. Just things you have to keep your eye on, that's all. And I cannot do that until I weld that piece on that piece. I'm going to step back for a second. Now, what I'm doing now is lining up the bottom. That back on the bottom, the back's got to go up a little bit. And the reason I'm saying that is because I can see this part here, I can't see any of the piece going in. When I look back at this way, I can see some of this tucked down. So I'm thinking that I want this brought up some, like so. That's what I'm thinking I want. And a pair of, just going to put it up by eye and just give it a tack. Just tack it. Oh, better tack it better than that. What I want, right there. So that's basically the quarter panel of the car. I've got it butt welded down by the door. I'll finish it down by the door when the door flies open. There's no sense me going in there and trying to make a mess when I can wait till the door comes open and do a real nice job. Across the quarter panel, I can weld it up. Yes, I can. Across the bottom, I can weld it up. All the little V's, I can weld up. Yes, I can. And you can, if you can understand, the wheel wells right here. This piece here, when that slides in here, that closes this off. So that piece there, when it slides into here, then that will be welded all the way down along here, all the way along here, and come up here, weld up here, and then it'll weld all the way along this thing. So that's closed off. On the inside, if you want to come take a look, I don't know if you're sure if we have to go to the other side or not. On the inside, from the B pillar back to the the wheel well that comes in, I'll make a panel that is like up front. Can you see up front there? Just like that. So there'll be a panel there going from the B pillar, just like the A pillar to the firewall. Then there'll be a panel going from the B pillar to the wheel well. I got to get in there and pull that little piece of metal out there. You can see how the B pillar, that little piece of that brace I put in to attach the B pillar to the inside sill, you can see how that's not hitting that quarter panel. But now's the time you can get in there and put that in there. I could have put that in after. Well, I'd rather it in there now. Now I can just put a little piece in and spot weld it in so it looks original, or not original, but whatever. You're not even going to see that actually when put that panel in there. You're not even going to see that. But I just wanted to put that in that B pillar to make it a little bit better. Their B pillar, the piece coming down is only that thick. We made one that thick. And you can see how I'm going to have to fix the other side when I open the door. Alrighty, everybody, that's how I put the quarter panel on. Make a comment how you would make it easier or faster or whatever. And generally, I like to do things as fast as I can to see how good I am. And basically, that's the only way I know how. I mean, if, I could take, I could take a week and do that. Doesn't really tell me how good I am. I like to do things as quick as I can. Also, after I get this all done, then I will take it outside and sandblast it. After I get it all done, I know I'm cutting the rust out of it. There's no rust where I'm welding it. I'm grinding it off the grinder. But after I'm all done, then I can go outside and I can sandblast it and make it clean. When I sandblast it, that means it'll be all prickly. It'll feel like a cat's tongue. and that means I will have prepped all the metal. So all the time that you're taking your time grinding your metal down, sanding your metal, polishing your metal, I skip that stage, because when I sandblast it, that's when the metal gets prepped for body filler. Also, when I cut all the floor out of this car, I don't like to sandblast that stuff. I do not like to sandblast stuff. I've watched many shows where they put the car out, they sandblast the dust out of it. I don't know how long it takes them, how much it costs them. It's none of my business. But to take it inside and cut out the whole floor after someone has just spent hours and hours and hours and hours sandblasting it, and dollars after dollars, seems senseless. So I like to save it to the end. Don't know if it's backwards, don't know if it's forward, but basically I am not wasting my money on something that I am not going to paint or fix. I know the floor was going to be cut out of it, so I don't do that stuff. I'd rather cut it all out, fix everything, skip the process of getting my metal ready, sanding it and polish it and grinding it. How long does that take? I skip that part and I sandblast the whole thing. It feels like a cat's tongue. My metal's prepped. I have not sandblasted anything that does not need to be sandblasted. Have a good one, everybody. Oh, we're going to give away a hat or t-shirt. Right on, hat or t-shirt. So make a comment how you would change for the other side. There could be a couple small things. There could be something really big. There could be whatever. There's a hat or a t-shirt. You can win when you write in a comment. The more comments you write in, the better chance you get. You have to be subscribed. No, you don't have to be subscribed. Well, subscribe anyways. But there's a hat or t-shirt. They've been selling really good. Ken Henley did an awesome job drawing them pictures. He did an awesome job. We want to tell Ken that everybody's really ecstatic with, your picture. Well done. We'd like to get one of Jimbo done. If Ken's watching at all, Jimbo, a good picture of Jimbo maybe smoking a smoky or a togie or something like that. That would be kind of cool, I think. But let's give away a hat or shirt. This will be the first hat or shirt given away this year, will it not? For this time around? Awesome. And we will do it when you least expect it. And that way there, you throw in a comment. $156. Ooh, what's that say?
I don't know. It's a random. It's a bunch of letters.
It's a random, a bunch of letters. Chad, do you back prime or coat the metal repair from the inside? That's called undercoating. I find it hard to. It's pretty hard. I've tried that before, and you end up burning it off. Seems pointless. But basically, when you put the metal on, after you're all done, that's when you're all done your car, that's when you go in there and undercoat. That's what you do, is you go in there and undercoat. And if you do not undercoat, you're taking your chances for anything to happen. That's basically, what? And right there, that's what I use. I got a box of it. Crown Premium Rust Protection. I throw that on the inside. That stuff creeps around and does the job. So basically, after you're all done, that's when you go in and undercoat. Doesn't matter who you are, who you think you are. If you cut a car apart, there's rust on the inside of the car. There's basically no way to get paint on everything after you've cut a car or whatever. Any car I cut apart, there's rust on the inside. It does not hurt anything because it's on the inside. It's not really decayed. But basically what you should do is get some undercoating on it, and then it'll hold it back. And if you do not understand, when you weld something onto a car, no matter if you've back primed it, back painted it, or backlashed it, or whatever you've done, where you've welded it is where it's rusting. Basically, you've deoxidized it. The metal is going to rust quicker there than anywheres is where you've welded it. So, you don't undercoat the underneath. Well, yeah, we undercoat it after you're done. But basically, on the inside is where it rusts. So on the outside, I can sandblast it, make it clean as whatever on the outside, and I can fill it and keep the rust away. But on the inside, it's hard to get a paint gun or anything in there when you've welded it, and that's where it rusts first. That's another thing. When I do the sandblasting, basically, when you sandblast a car, your sandblasting pieces, when you cut it apart, there's still rust on the inside of it because you cannot get the sandblaster where you're cutting apart. You watch any show where they've taken a car and sandblasted it or dipped it, or well, dipped it, you probably get most of everything, but where you've sandblasted it and you bring it in, you cut the floor out of it, you'll still find rust. I guarantee it. Have a good one, everybody.